Hey everybody, ChristopherOdd here, and this is a game called Orwell. This is the first episode. There's going to be 5 episodes released, one each week. And what's cool about this is, first of all, if you don't know the name Orwell, I'd be really surprised, but Orwell wrote 1984, and with that little bit of information, you can probably guess what this game is about. The government has created this new security program called Orwell, and it can monitor all personal communications and access any computer that it wants to. So it can monitor your emails, your web searches, your social interactions, your photos, anything about you. And what happens is we are chosen from thousands of candidates as the first human researcher. So we get to go hands-on with Orwell. And there's a terror attack that hits the nation's capital. So we start with one singular person of interest, I believe, and we're gonna have to kind of build our web outwards using information about them and linking it to other people and trying to figure out who's behind this terror attack. And one thing really caught me when I was researching this game, the questions that they're kind of asking are these people really terrorists? There's information that we need to reveal to the government about these people, and the question is like, what does that really tell us about that person? If we have information that not even their closest or their closest friends or their loved ones know, like what kind of ethical lines are we crossing, and what's the real price of maintaining that security that this specific nation is really going for? So I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued. This is like this. I'm going in totally blind here. Aside from what I've heard of friends telling me about this game. And I think it's going to be a lot of reading. There's going to be some detective work involved, but I think it's going to be something different. And hopefully, it's worth the time investment because it's got a really cool story behind it. So here we go. We've been accepted into Orwell. Let's create our profile. Congratulations, you've been selected for the Orwell test phase. Okay, so we can pick a profile picture here. 1 of 10, I suppose. You know, we're in this online world. Nobody knows who anybody looks like, really. I'm just gonna go with this guy, right here. And we're just gonna name ourselves Odd. Okay, so you're one of 3,256 accepted applicants. You may now enter your email address. This will allow you to inform you about updates on your case. The addresses entered will be handled with care and not be used for any other purposes. I'm not going to enter this because it's optional, but it's basically it's most likely just to get updates on the game. Be diligent. Your work has severe impact. Please agree to the following terms. I'm aware that my actions may severely impact the lives of citizens of the nation. I will work thoroughly and judge objectively in the best of my belief. While working, I'll adhere to the laws and jurisdiction of the nation. Got it. Thank you for ensuring the safety of the nation's people. Your registration is now complete. I love the music. It's really good. So this is Freedom Plaza, April 12th, 2017. Everything looks relatively normal. So we've got facial scanning, no records of those people. Unique art style, it's cool. Oh, here we go. Got a police record on this woman. Uh-oh. Could you imagine? Okay, well, we're not starting off lightly, that's for sure. I thought it may be the bus, but it looks like this person potentially put something down before she left. If in fact that was even her, just because she has a criminal record doesn't mean that it's necessarily her. So this guy's named Symes. You're online. Good. Call me Symes. I'll be your advisor on Orwell. Together we will form both the first and the last line of defense against terrorism. For this test phase, you are one of the first people to try out the Orwell system under real circumstances, selected from thousands of applicants across the globe. Normally, congratulations would be in order, but as you can see from that footage, there has been an incident. So let's get started. I've activated the Reader tool for you. Its purpose is storing bookmarks to online websites and documents for easy access, and to highlight when there's new information to be investigated. First, I want you to be informed of the situation. Our leading newspaper, the National Beholder, will bring you up to speed. Let's go into the Reader here. The Nash TNB. Fast, precise, and honest. Okay, so here are the headlines. Feel free to browse the National Beholder. I've activated the profiler. Open the unknown person file once you're done. Okay, so let's go through here. Bomb obliterates Freedom Memorial and kills 3. Detonation destroys the Freedom Memorial in Bonton. 3 people killed, 5 severely injured. Terrorist ambition suspected as a mysterious letter reaches authorities. At approximately 7:50 p.m. on Wednesday evening, an explosive device detonated at the Freedom Plaza in Bonton. According to official police reports, 3 people were killed and at least 5 bystanders were severely wounded. The Freedom Memorial was nearly completely destroyed. Police forces closed off the area immediately. Experts believe the attack was an act of terror, with police confirming that the explosive device was homemade and triggered from a short distance away using a cell phone signal. Police reports also confirm that several hours earlier, an anonymous letter containing the first 3 stanzas of the German folk song, Die Gedanken sind frei, the thoughts are free, had reached local authorities. Prime Minister Blaine immediately issued a public press statement firmly condemning the assault and put the nation on high alert until the perpetrators have been brought to justice. Okay. We've got to take some of this down. So, German folk song. Die Gedanken sind frei. I wonder if we look that up and we translate that. Maybe that tells us something. The thoughts are free. This must be like, this is probably like an anti-Orwell thing, I'm guessing. Okay. Containing the first 3 stanzas of the German folk song. Weird. Okay. Negotiations in Triflith has failed. Pargesian or Pargesian president aborts negotiations with opposition. Violent riots in Triflith. Blaine encourages renewal. Peace negotiations in the riot-ridden Pargesian capital city Triflith have been aborted without any result last night. Independent sources report that President Kassart abruptly cut off communication with opposition representatives as the latter presented a tangible plan for the organization of re-elections. The news about the premature cancellation of the negotiation caused thousands of people to resume demonstrations in the capital. It has been reported that demonstrators wearing hoods threw incendiary material into shop windows and onto cars. The police struggled to keep the situation under control. Prime Minister Blaine stated his worries about the negative developments regarding the political situation of the neighboring country and has requested both sides to resume diplomatic discussions. Perhaps related? Movie shooting completed. 100 Grey Shadows. Oh my god. Shooting of the Grey Shadows saga has finalized. 3rd part of the saga to hit movie theaters next Valentine's Day. Sound familiar? After a lengthy shoot in the hills of Bonton, self-proclaimed visionary director Sumishi Aran announced that filming of his eagerly awaited romantic drama 100 Grey Shadows has finally come to an end. Announced via his Timelines profile yesterday, the brash director said he was eager to begin post-production and the final editing stages before the conclusion of the Grey Shadows series would hit the cinemas on Valentine's Day next year. The 3rd and final chapter in the Grey Shadows saga, previous releases being A Grey Shadow and Another Grey Shadow, was announced to be released almost 4 years ago, but was postponed numerous times due to production problems. Fans have speculated this was largely due to the breakdown of Hollywood power couple Betty Avon and Mike McDeal, who have had long-lasting quarrels during the filming as a result. One production hand was reported to say that these spats were getting out of control, and the completion of any scene featuring both actors was nothing short of pulling teeth. When we reached out to Rhubarb Productions to get a comment, they declined the rumors and claimed them to be mere speculation. Okay, So we've gone through that. Now let's open up this profile here. What do we know? The profiler holds all known information on those we investigate. The file you have opened is for our main suspect. The blue-haired woman that the CCTV footage shows before the assault is no stranger to the police. Take a look at the arrest record. Okay, so within each of these profiles and relationships, we can figure out physique, background, personality, activities, aliases, accounts, and contacts. Here's the police database on Cassandra Watergate, June 10th, 2016. The highlighted elements in the record are pieces of data that are able to be extracted. We call these elements data chunks. Hovering over data chunks will reveal their relevance to the case and any connections or information it may influence. Drag and drop all data chunks from the police database into a profile to upload them to our servers. Cool, okay. Let's upload this. This is her name. We're looking for date of birth, addresses, occupations, all of that kind of stuff. So we've got her name there now. She was charged with assaulting a police officer last year. Arresting officer was Duncan Lloyd. Was held in Bonton Central PD. Suspect was arrested on site after Officer Franklin had been struck by an unknown object and became unresponsive. The protesters at the origin of the assault were forcibly moved, where the suspect was found kneeling and weeping on the group. Weird. When asked to lay on the ground with her hands behind her back, the suspect cooperated immediately. Huh. Found kneeling and weeping on the group. So she may not have even done this, it sounds like. It was an unknown object and became unresponsive. Everybody was moved out. She was found kneeling there and weeping. And then she cooperated fully. So, interesting. Very good. Pictures and names are crucial information for Orwell to identify a person. Information in documents can only become a data chunk when we can clearly be assigned to a target person. Okay. So we need to be able to identify the name and maybe a picture first, and then we can find other data chunks. Information documents can only become a data chunk when it can clearly be assigned to a target person. Add the reason for Miss Watergate's prior arrest that has just been unlocked. We will need this info to progress. Okay, so we have this. It's cool that we don't have to really find the right space for it to go. It's just, we just drop it in there and then we have like kind of a history being built, it looks like. Good, with the data you extracted from the police record, a new document can now be accessed. Now let me ask you a question. Do you believe in coincidence? I do not. Find data revealing where she attacked the police officer and you will see what I mean. Previously arrested for an assault on a police officer. I'm gonna guess that it's in this same area. The National Beholder. Is this woman a terrorist? Movie shooting completed. So these are all the things we've clicked on and read. We have the summary of the newspaper, but now this one is unlocked. Is this woman a terrorist? It's from last year. Woman allegedly injured a police officer 2 weeks ago, remains in custody. Cassandra Watergate. Okay, the case just that keeps the media and the public guessing. Cassandra W., pictured above, who had allegedly injured a police officer severely 2 weeks ago, is still being held in police custody. The young woman is accused of having hit the victim's head with a large brick. The incident occurred during a rampage at the Freedom Plaza as part of a demonstration. So, okay. Let's upload this. The exact same location as the assault. Then she turns up there right before the explosion. Surely not a coincidence. I mean, certainly doesn't look good. As you know, Miss Watergate is still running around freely. We should find out why. We should also gather more background information on her. I want to know who we're really dealing with. Now, I guess part of the decisions come from the fact that maybe we don't upload everything that we find, because it could put them in like a negative light or what have you. I don't know. Maybe we have to just upload everything we find too, but hopefully we have the choice. So let's find more information about her. Against the newest amendments to the government's model project, the safety bill. So they're against this surveillance, obviously. Due to the chaotic nature of the scene, police have not yet been able to connect the crime to the accused. Cassandra W., who is an artist by profession, so we now have our occupation, has denied the accusations completely. Okay, sorry, I just like minimized to the desktop for some reason. She's an artist by profession, has denied the accusations completely, and asked her fans to show their support. A trial has now been scheduled for mid-August. The case received nationwide attention when Catherine Delacroix, Secretary of Security, labeled the alleged perpetrator alongside the other rioters as anti-governmental terrorists. So let's upload her profession. Oh yes, one who does street art by blowing memorials to pieces by any chance? I don't know if that's her art. Great, you found another document. Before we go on, let's clarify your job and how it affects mine, shall we? You've extracted all the info I already knew about Miss Watergate. Starting now, I'm going into this case blind. The Orwell Ethical Codex dictates that investigators, like yourself, are the only ones allowed to access the documents of target persons. Advisors like me only get to see the data provided by the investigators. Perfect, this is exactly what we were talking about. We will then draw conclusions and request action. Your primary job is to provide information you deem important. Never give away incorrect or misleading data. Never give away incorrect or misleading data. You may hit disable on a data chunk you do not want to pass on to Orwell. However, some data chunks might be necessary to progress on the case. Uh-huh. Okay, so we've got her portfolio here. I guess this is probably her, yeah, this is her website, Cassandra's Port. Interesting. Looks generally pretty happy. Can we upload more photos? See no harm in doing that. So this is her introduction of herself. Hi, I'm Cassie, a colorful inhabitant of Wonderland right behind the rainbow. Glad you found me. Finally found the courage to quit my dull day job, focus on my art career, and put my stuff on port.folio. Below you'll find a hand-picked selection of my latest works. You can browse through them by clicking on the arrows on the left and right of the pictures below. See something you like? Why, of course you do, because it's freaking awesome, isn't it? Leave me a message on my UTEL account, the Cassie92, and tell me which piece you'd like. I'm gonna make a fine art print and ship it right away to your doorstep. Best thing, free of charge. Now off you go and have fun. So we can look through this. She did previously have a regular day job and quit. That's probably important. A colorful oh, interesting. We should find out what job that was. Exactly. Colorful inhabitant of Wonderland right behind the rainbow. I don't think that's important to, like, it looks like it's an address, right, in Wonderland. Unless, of course, Wonderland is some fictional name in this world. The UTEL account could be interesting. Another means of communication. Good, you found a chat handle that will allow us to overhear any conversation on that account. The listener has now been unlocked. New conversations will appear whenever they're started. Oh, cool. So if we are able to link those other accounts, we'll get updates from them right away. My beloved furball Kikiko, definitely the only family I need. So she probably lives alone, I guess. Yep, that beaut is me. I was never sure about the title though. The Businessman's Forgotten Daughter, or Victim of Traditionalism in Pink. What do you think? I guess her father was an entrepreneur, a businessman. It could be helpful. A Christmas present for my darling. So she's in a relationship. This was actually meant to be a private piece, but oh well. I'd have a hard time keeping it to myself. Okay, we obviously want to make the connection to any spouses or... Let's see, do we have the connections here? Not yet. Because we don't have his name or anything, we just have the picture. What else do we have? Aliases. This is the account that we found. Contacts. Okay. Now we've got the listener here. Let's see if we can check out her chat. Unknown person. Hey, you. Hey, Jossie. So she knows this person. I can't seem to find my credit card. I assume you took it, right? You got me, Sherlock. Oh, it's probably her spouse or significant other, whatever title they have. I'm in the middle of buying all of Bonton with that platinum card I lifted from your desk. Can't stop me now. Well, luckily for you, I don't mind you going on a splurge as long as you pick up some wine for dinner. Wine? What does Joseph Langley, my fearless attorney and all-around badass, have in mind this time? Probably just a business call from one of his favorite clients. So this is her attorney? Actually, yes, that is exactly what's going to happen. Very serious business, Cassandra. I thought as much. Huh. Guess I better pick up shitloads of wine. You'll have to get this client of yours pretty buzzed to handle all that business. One bottle should be fine. She's a lightweight. Interesting. This feels like it's almost slightly uncomfortable seeing this play out in real time. Oh, whatever. I guess I shouldn't pick up some of those party pills from Big Pharma, aka my parents then. Pharmaceutical entrepreneurs. Come on, I was only teasing. Speaking of your parents, when are you going to tell them about us? Yeah, maybe gotta go now. Text you later. Okay, so what's important here? I don't know if this is necessarily crucial. Like, they're obviously close enough where she's using his credit card, and like, I know you shouldn't do that, but that's gonna paint her as a criminal, which I guess if you're going by technicalities, you know. This we definitely want to update. This relationship with Joseph Langley. You now have a profile for a related person. It can be accessed via the profiler. Data chunks will only appear for targeted persons and can only be extracted into their relevant profiles. So does that mean... Huh. Okay, so this tells you which profile it's going to update. I do want to know that her parents, like, what their specific jobs are. Pharmaceutical entrepreneurs. And we've got a related document. Watergate, pharma entrepreneurs. That does ring a bell. Probably a big company name. I'm gonna hold off on the credit card thing for now. I guess we could always come back to it, right? I think so. Okay, procedure closing raises manipulation suspicions. Okay, let's find out a little bit about Watergate Pharmaceuticals, and then this is obviously related. So what do they sell? Company, jobs, products. This is their website. We can go through some of this. Watergate Pharmaceuticals enriches lives with their industry-leading range of products, making an important contribution to your well-being. Mood-elevating medication. New lemon taste. So they sell a Hexatil, cough drops that fight against irritation of the throat based on natural herbs. Compensum, activating pills against migraines and strong headaches. Focusin, medication increases concentration and cerebral performance. Foral Active, medication for the alleviation of arthritic joint pain. Methorin, antidepressant to help you stabilize your emotions. Spirin, all-around painkiller that dissolves in water. And Zamorolin Night, soothing pills for a good night's rest against occasional sleeping problems and for acute application when suffering from insomnia. Okay, we're gonna have to keep an eye out for the names of these drugs. What about the company? The name Watergate has been inseparable from progression and improvement of pharmaceutical research for more than 80 years. Watergate Pharmaceuticals is one of the nation's leading companies in the area of medicine, and at the same time is the largest medication exporter to all areas of the world. Okay, so huge. Which means she's definitely coming from money, which doesn't really sound, you know, you have certain things that you associate with terrorism. Being super rich is not necessarily one of those things. The business Watergate Pharmaceuticals has been in the hands of the Watergate family, owning and managing the firm ever since its foundation in 1931. Can we upload this? Doesn't look like it. This is the CEO, Bruno. Grandson of our founder, Edgar Watergate. Apart from working in the family business, Mr. Watergate is also the founder of the Central Pharmacy Congress and the head of the charity foundation, Children of Parges. Okay. I don't suppose if we go into here, this is going to change anything that's highlighted. I'm still trying to figure out if that has a tangible impact or if it will just update the specific case. Alice Watergate, co-partner of the firm with her husband Bruno, holds a PhD in biology and chemistry. She leads the research and development laboratories here at Watergate. And then here we go. She used to work here. So, she was the junior COO, carrying the family's tradition to the next generation. Appointed to the COO by a pharmaceutical company, probably by one of her parents. Yeah, obviously. Being an artist and a junior COO seems quite odd. She also mentioned that she'd quit a dull job, didn't she? Yeah, but I mean, websites, the parents probably, like, why would they ever even think, I'm gonna go update our website because our daughter quit, you know? Carrying the family tradition to the next generation, Alice and Bruno's daughter, Cassandra, will soon be joining the executive ranks. Her business acumen and unique flair will write the next chapter of her 85-year-strong legacy. All right, so that's confirming who her parents are. Ah, now I see, keeping it a family affair. Yep. Documents that you have already reviewed may be updated from time to time as events unfold. The reader will notify you when that happens. The National Beholder just published a new article. You may want to take a look and see if there's any new information available. Okay. Before we do that, I want to see about these jobs. Watergate Pharmaceuticals is currently looking for suitable candidates for the following positions. Please address all applications to Josephine Marquardt, head of HR. So they're looking for a COO right now. We're urgently looking for a chief operating officer to replace the retired, formerly appointed predecessor. So that's confirming that she did leave. I'm fine with that. Maybe I was wrong and nothing stays in the family. Ouch. This is probably what she meant about quitting her job. Good. Yep. So far on the up and up. They're looking for somebody with many years of work experience, deep knowledge of the pharmacy market, master's degree in business economics, language proficiency in English, French, and Chinese desirable, which may indicate that she has that as well. A traditionally oriented character with a mindset that is nevertheless open for new challenges, a competitive and motivated spirit. We offer an ambitious and challenging role with high responsibilities at one of the most renowned pharmaceutical companies in the country, a safe job in the most stable and promising industries, a competitive salary, dynamic team with a friendly and cooperative atmosphere. They have a research internship as well. As a research intern, you'll be in a scientific research team for 3 to 6 months and support it with your assistants. We expect undergraduate studies or postgraduate of biology, chemistry, biochemistry, or similar fields, reliability and team spirit. Same thing that they offer. If you cannot find any position that matches your qualifications, we're still happy to receive your application. We'll then keep your CV in our candidate database in order to contact you as a matching vacancy reopens. All right. Now, new headlines, potentially. Let's check the new headlines. Crime rates are dropping. Oh, I see. It's just added to the top. Well, this is a good sign. Never before have there been so few violent crimes, and then all of a sudden, boom. On Thursday morning, the Ministry of Security published the new crime statistic report for the preceding year. This obviously has to do with Orwell being implemented, right? According to the report, the number of recorded criminal offenses decreased by 4.8% in comparison to last year. The crime rates have been continuously declining over the past several years as a direct result of the implementation of the safety bill. Exactly. Secretary of Security Catherine Delacroix appeared very pleased by these numbers and declared this development an outstanding result of successful safety policy. When confronted with the recent assault in Bonton, she once again admitted the ambitious goals of the government have not yet been accomplished. She further mentioned that activities are currently being established, which will have a considerable impact preventing further incidents. Now, the safety bill, let's see. So this is the party is elected into government. Safety bill is passed, and this is crimes per 100,000 of population. So it is dropping considerably. from over roughly 550 down to like 175. Wow. Safety bill is a collection of safety-centered laws and statutes created with the ultimate goal to protect the freedom of the nation's citizens. But does it really? If you're tracking everything, you know? Central to the safety bill is a simplified, sped-up process of taking investigative measures against criminal suspects in their prosecution, as well as the provision of an increased budget for safety-related expenses. The safety bill also paved the way for stricter regulations concerning immigration and travel, and general travel into or transiting through the nation. It has also become mandatory to inform employers whenever an applicant or employee is an ex-convict or otherwise regarded potentially dangerous. Huh. Since the safety bill has come into effect in 2011, the total number of acts of crime and terrorism committed have been decreasing continuously, and the trend is ongoing to date. And this is something about the Parges, which you read about before. The terrorist incident of 2008 was a terrible consequence of the premature retreat of our troops from Parges, a region torn by civil unrest for years, by the order of the previous government. To fix our predecessors' mistakes, the party, when elected in 2009, immediately made preparations to send our highly reliable soldiers back to safeguard the region for the good of the inhabitants of both countries alike. After the Parges peacekeeping mission had been signed in 2011, our troops were sent off to the neighboring country to perform tasks, including the distribution of aid packages containing food in addition to health and hygiene products to the mostly impoverished population, rebuilding of infrastructure, particularly hospitals and schools, upholding the law and public order alongside the removal of war relics such as anti-personnel mines or unexploded bombshells, training local police and military forces, and due to recent stabilization in the Parges, we have been able to reduce the number of stationed forces while leaving the overall goals of the peacekeeping mission intact. Okay. Procedure, closing raises, manipulate. Okay, this is about, well, let's see. Let's go back to the projects that the party is working on. Oh, this is just a link to here. Perfect. Okay, so let's read about this procedure closing. Investigation into the malicious injury of a police officer has been dropped due to lack of evidence. Speculated that the accused parents manipulated the trial. Oh, look at this. Orwell informs me that you just encountered conflicted data chunks. Whenever the content of two data chunks are at odds with one another, those will be shown as conflicted. When you extract one of the data chunks containing a conflict, the other will become invalid immediately. I'd highly recommend that you clarify the context of the conflict before you proceed, though this is your decision. Once the information has been parsed, there's no way to reverse the choice. So, what is this then? What's the conflict? It conflicts with an unknown data chunk. It says it was closed due to lack of evidence. Oh, I see. Okay, so here's the conflict. So, the case that has been at the center of media attention for the last month has finally come to an end. Cassandra W. was acquitted of the alleged assault against a police officer before the trial took place, with the case being closed due to lack of evidence. However, the case must be reopened, or might be reopened should new evidence be discovered. The suspect's lawyer, Joseph Langley, pictured above, welcomed this outcome. At no point has there ever been any valid evidence that my client was guilty. At no point at all. The revered defense attorney commented during a post-trial press gathering. The defense successfully brought video evidence depicting the incident in question, which eventually turned the tide of the proceedings. Meanwhile, the relatives of the victim expressed their disappointment on hearing the result of the lawsuit. They openly voiced their concerns that the wealthy family of the accused might have influenced the outcome in her favor. The victim, a father of two young sons, was rushed into hospital after the incident in mid-July, where he is still in an induced coma unresponsive to treatment. I mean, it sounds like there's not a lot of evidence, though. You know? And this person, understandably upset, I get it, but relatives of the victim, the cop who got hit with the brick, is saying, well, the family's so wealthy, obviously they've influenced the outcome in her favor, right? The sketchy part is that the lawyer and her are in a personal relationship, so it raises a bunch of questions. Obviously. That's not good. I think this is hearsay. I'm gonna go like it was closed due to lack of evidence. That's what we're putting in. And in terms of everything we've read, yeah. Pity the CCTV feed did not actually help. Maybe it will today. Currently, I'm thinking that our Miss Watergate underwent quite a radical change. Don't you agree? Let's find out what happened in between these two lives of hers. What may have caused this radical shift? Okay. So we're starting to build out this profile here. We've also got connections to the father, Bruno, the mother, Alice, and then this love interest in Joseph Langley. And can we actually... I'm surprised we can't upload this, his photo. But yeah, very interesting in what's going on here. It seems on the surface that she's been wrongfully accused of this thing. There's not really any evidence, as far as I can tell, that's going back to, it's linking back to her. But, you know, and even the fact that she took this credit card, that could look bad, but I don't think it's that bad. People in relationships use each other's credit cards sometimes. You know, it's weird. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna wrap it up here. When we come back, we'll continue investigating. This is actually really interesting, and it reminds me of the movie, or the documentary Citizen 4, and then the movie Snowden that released, and it's like, just seeing all of the information that people could get so quickly. This is exactly what it was like, where you're researching this stuff, and you find these links to other people, and you build this web of information. It's pretty wild. But I'm intrigued. So I know it's a lot of reading. Hopefully you guys don't mind, but something different and something kind of cool. So I'm into it. And yeah, I'll be back soon with the next part. So see you next time. Bye.